careers, and friends that they had never even looked out the window and seen one another. After 3 days in isolation, their eyes had met all of a sudden. He had waved cautiously, and she had waved back, happy to see another human being. This continued for a few more days till one day he held up a sign with a phone number written on it. She had grabbed her phone, then called him, and now they met this way every day. They had never met face to face. They had never held hands or kissed. Yet Candace felt like she was falling in love with him, and she sensed that he felt the same. Maybe it was just the situation, but she never felt like this before. They could talk for hours on end. Sometimes they'd listen to music together. He had an old-fashioned record player, and he'd play her a song, and then they'd listen and talk about it afterward. Yesterday, he had even recited a poem for her, one he had written himself, just for her, he said. Today, he had told her how he couldn't wait to take her out once this was all over. Candace could hardly wait either. She liked Brian more than any of the men she had dated on Tinder, and there were a lot of those. There was something so pure and simple about their relationship, if you could call it that. It was just easy, and as people were realizing in their solitude what was really important in life, she was wondering if she had prioritized things wrong as well. Candace had been shooting up the career ladder all her adult life, and she had barely allowed herself any time for love. A casual date here and there had often ended in just casual sex, where she told the guy to leave once it was done. She hated it if they asked to sleep over and kicked them out as soon as daylight came knocking. No breakfast, no kiss goodbye. She had liked her solitude. Being alone kept her mind clear and focused. Now she'd do anything to break that silence and get rid of the deep loneliness gnawing at her. Sometimes she wanted to scream, or just run out into the street, hugging anyone she might meet. She had no idea how badly loneliness hurt the body, how terribly you could miss something as simple as a hug, how the body almost craved physical contact after a few weeks in solitude. Candace felt the tear escape her eye and wiped it away. Brian couldn't see it from where he was standing, but she had a feeling he shed a tear every now and then as well. It was wearing on everyone being cooped up like this. "So, what are you having for dinner tonight?" he asked. "I made a vegan casserole," she sniffled, pressing back the sad thoughts. They weren't doing her any good. She glanced towards the stove. Candace had been cooking like crazy ever since the lockdown started, just to have something to do to keep her sanity. Before this, she never cooked. She didn't have the time or energy for it once she got home late at night from work, and would usually order in. But now, it was the most important task of the day. Every day, a new recipe, trying to eat healthily and just having something sensible to do. In the beginning, she had found herself going to the store just for a gallon of milk or a chocolate bar, just in the desire to be able to get out. But since then, they had put restrictions on how many times a week you were allowed to leave your house, and for a single woman like her, it was down to once a week. To stop the virus from spreading, they kept saying. To flatten the curve, to prevent people from overwhelming the hospitals. It all made sense, and Candace understood the reasons, but still, it was hard to keep the optimism going. I wish I could taste it. I bet it's awesome," Brian said. "I wish I could have you over. We could eat and share a glass of wine. That would be awesome." A silence broke out between them as they both remembered what it was like, how life used to be, back to a time, 2 weeks ago, when you could actually invite people over for dinner or go out to a nice restaurant and eat together. "What are you having tonight?" Just leftover chicken from yesterday. I made a salad to go with it, though, trying to stay healthy." "Don't forget to take your vitamins, too," she said, sounding a little bit too much like a mother warning her child. "Even though they don't know if it helps, it can't harm boosting the immune system." "I'm not scared of this virus," he said. "It's nothing but a bad cold, right?" Candace swallowed. She didn't want to talk about this with him or anyone, but she felt she needed to warn him. "It's not, no. But that's what they say on TV. It's not that bad. It's a flu-like disease and affects children and young adults the worst. That's why we need to stay inside, because we need to protect the kids. But for most people, it's like the common..."